If you're thinking about buying a home in Oregon, especially in the Portland metro area, the home buying process can feel pretty overwhelming if you've never done it before. There are a lot of moving parts. You have to worry about financing, the contracts, inspections, appraisals, negotiations, and then you have to close. And if you're relocating here from another state, it can feel even more confusing because every state actually handles real estate transactions a little differently. The contracts are different, the timelines are different, and sometimes even the laws are different. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the entire Oregon home buying process step by step so you know exactly what to expect. We're gonna talk about financing options, buyer representation agreements, what it's like to write an offer, your different contingencies, what your inspection will look like, appraisals, your closing, and then what actually happens when you get the keys to your house. And also, just as a heads up, since I'm licensed in both Oregon and Washington, I'll be making another video explaining the Washington home buying process because the process is actually different across state lines. So, if we haven't met before, my name is Stephen Tran. I'm an Oregon broker and investor serving the Portland metro area and Southwest Washington. And every single year, I help a lot of buyers relocate here and purchase homes. So, if you're interested in living in Portland or Southwest Washington, relocating here and buying real estate in the Portland metro area, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every Monday about living in the area and what buyers should know before making the move. And if this video helps you understand the home buying process better, please go ahead and hit the like button because that helps my video reach more people who are researching the same thing. Also, quick question for you. Are you a first-time home buyer yourself or have you purchased a home before? Please let me know down in the comments. Okay, so the very first step in the home buying process is understanding your finances. Before even starting to look at homes, you want to understand how much home can you afford, what monthly payment are you comfortable with, how much do you have available for a down payment, and what your credit situation looks like. Many buyers focus just on the purchase price of the home, but what really matters is the monthly payment. Your monthly payment includes things such as your mortgage principal and interest, your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance, and then also your HOA dues if that's applicable. Once you've had the chance to understand your finances, the next step is speaking with a lender or a mortgage broker about your loan options. Some of the most common loans buyers use are conventional loans, and these are the most common loans and often allow payments between 3 and 20% down. There are also FHA loans, and these are really popular with first-time home buyers and allow payments as low as 3.5%. Also, there are VA loans, which are available for eligible veterans and can allow buyers to purchase with as little as 0% down. There are also several down payment assistance programs available for some buyers. You just have to check with your local lender. A good lender and mortgage broker will walk you through your options and help you determine which loan program makes the most sense for you. Once you've had a chance to speak with your lender or mortgage broker and you've shared your financial documents, you'll usually receive something called a pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that your finances have been reviewed, that you qualify for a loan, and that you're a serious buyer. And most sellers won't even consider an offer without a pre-approval. The next step is finding a great real estate agent to work with. In Oregon, buyers typically sign what they call a buyer's representation agreement. This document outlines the relationship between a buyer and the agent, how long the agreement will last, and how long the agent will represent the buyer. There's also an agreed upon rate for the buyer's agent services. A great agent will work to negotiate that their fee be covered by the seller of the house. Your agent's job is to help you find the home, schedule showings, analyze market value for a home, negotiate your offers, and then to guide you through the entire transaction. Once you've got through these steps and you're pre-approved and you're working with an agent, you can start touring some homes. When you're evaluating homes, buyers often consider things such as the location, the layout of the home, what is the condition of the home currently, what are your commute times to your office. In the Portland metro area, neighborhoods can feel very different from each other, so finding the right fit really matters. You can watch my other videos about the different neighborhoods in the Portland metro area and see if any of those are the right fit for you. Once you find the home that you want, the next step is writing an offer. In Oregon, offers are written using standardized real estate contracts. Things you may see in an offer would be the purchase price, the closing timelines, your different contingencies, and how much earnest money are you putting down. Once you've had the chance to submit an offer, the seller can either accept the offer, reject the offer, or they can send back something called a counteroffer. The negotiations can go back and forth until both sides agree. Once an offer is accepted, the buyer deposits something called earnest money, generally within the first 3 business days. And also remember, business days exclude holidays and weekends. This is a good faith deposit that shows the seller that you're serious. And generally in Oregon, it's about 1 to 3% of the purchase price. And this money is generally held by the title company in escrow. This money is protected by the several different contingencies I will be going through below. One of the first things you get when you get into contract is a seller's property disclosure statement. This document outlines what the seller knows about the home's condition. And if there are any major issues that come up in a seller's property disclosure that you're not comfortable with, this is an opportunity to back out of the contract and get your full earnest money back. Another thing we have to worry about is the inspection contingency. This allows the buyer to hire a licensed inspector to evaluate the property. By default, in our contracts, it is about 10 business days. So remember, that does not include weekends or holidays. So that generally ends up being about 2 weeks. For a more competitive offer, buyers will often shorten this period. Some of the things that an inspection will review is the roof, plumbing, electrical, foundation, the crawl space, and the attic. But also remember, the inspector will not be opening up the walls. After the inspection report, buyers can ask for repairs, they can request credits, they can just move forward, or they can choose to terminate the contract before the inspection contingency ends for their earnest money back. Some other additional inspections that we generally add on is radon and sewer scopes. We do a sewer scope to make sure that your sewer line is working well, as that can be one of the most major repairs to deal with. And in Oregon, radon can be quite common, so we do radon tests, which take about 2 to 3 days. And we can see if your radon levels are high, as that can potentially cause cancer. If you do happen to be using financing, your lender will often order an appraisal. The appraisal determines the home's value. If the appraisal comes in low, a few things can happen. You might have to renegotiate the price, the buyer can bring in additional cash, the lender can restructure the loan, or the deal may just fall apart at this point. And if you've dealt with a real estate transaction before, generally you know that a title company is involved, and they play an important part in closing. A couple of the things they do, they hold escrow, they verify ownership of the home, they ensure your home has clear title, and that means that they're checking for any construction liens or encumbrances or any doubts about ownership. They also help to prepare your closing documents. During the loan process, your lender completes underwriting, and they'll verify things such as your employment, your income, your assets, and your credit. Once everything is approved, the lender will issue a clear to close. So before you close, you'll have an opportunity to do a final walkthrough. And this ensures that the house is in the same condition as when you saw it, any repairs we've requested have been completed, and that nothing else has changed. One of the things a lot of my buyers ask me is about closing costs. And generally, closing costs range anywhere between 2 to 4% of the purchase price. These costs may include things such as your lender fees, your appraisal, your title insurance, escrow fees, and prepaid taxes and insurance. Also, things to avoid. One of the biggest mistakes buyers make is changing their financing during escrow. So a couple things to avoid is please do not open any new credit cards, don't buy a new car, don't change your jobs, and try not to move large amounts of money. Your lender is working to verify your financial situation until closing. And if we happen to be in a competitive market, winning offers often depends on several things, such as having a strong pre-approval, making sure our pricing is competitive, that our timelines are very flexible, and that we have fewer contingencies. And that may mean shortening or removing some of your contingencies, and as your agent, we'll discuss the risks of these. For example, shortening or removing your inspection contingency can often help an offer get through, but you'll lose time to inspect the house and negotiate any repairs. What I often see for homes going over asking price in a multiple offer situation is adding in something called an appraisal gap coverage. That means if the house appraises lower than the offer price for the home, you'll have to come up with the difference between the appraised value of the home and the offer price. Or your lender or mortgage broker can come up with a new solution for financing. Here's where you can potentially lose your earnest money. You can lose your earnest money if you miss all of your contingency deadlines, such as your inspection contingency, your financing contingency, or you cancel outside of the contract terms, or you breach your contract. Your agent is there to help you manage those contingencies and to make sure that you don't breach your contract. In terms of timelines, most transactions in Oregon take anywhere from 30 to 45 days from accepted offer to closing. Without financing, such as purchasing with all cash, you can really speed up the process and you can close as quickly as 14 days. Even less if you decide to skip the inspection. And then, on closing day, you'll sign the final documents. And once the transaction records with the county, you officially become the homeowner. And then that's when you finally get the keys to your new home. So, if you're planning to buy a new home soon, I'm curious, what part of the home buying process feels the most confusing to you? Is it the financing? Is it inspections? Is it negotiations? Let me know in the comments. So if you're thinking about buying a house in the Portland metro area, that's exactly what I help people with every single year. You can call or text me at 971-285-2002 or email me at steven@diverserg.com. You can also download my Portland relocation guide on my website if you're thinking about moving to the area. And again, if you're interested in living in Portland or relocating here, please make sure to subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every Monday and home tours every Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.